So what's up? So did MTV and I want to say did MTV and hip hop help or hurt race relations? Hmm. I don't think neither one of them helped it. I think that it's interesting when I was watching some show when they was talking about some, and then a black woman was talking about it, and she said MTV and hip hop it didn't bring it closer. It didn't. What MTV was just as segregated as they could be. You know, and I know, of course, I remember Rick James spoke out about it, and he was 100% correct about how racist they were. That's one of the reasons why they whiteballed him. That's why he ain't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I can't think of no other reason because he was more of a rock star than most of those turkeys they put on there. And you saw the great lengths Michael Jackson had to go to when a record company had to threaten to pull all the artists if they didn't play his videos. I mean, who does that? And we're talking 40 years ago. So when people say, "Oh, 100 years ago, 80 years ago, 90, 70," no, this was in the last 40 years. That's how racist they were. And their network, and they just tested having to call him the king of pop and Billboard magazine, all that. So MTV, when he had Eddie Van Halen play the guitar solo on "Beat It" and everything and what have you and all that, it was a lot of work. It was happening to kick down barriers. It was apartheid of entertainment. You don't look at music and think like apartheid, but it was. And then we get to, and then you had Prince who went through what he went through. He was used too, just like Michael, and Whitney was too. And ain't ironic how, and then Janet Jackson. And you look at how what they did and how everything turned out and how segregated and how the crossover dollar and the pushing the agenda, and they still wasn't getting the same in totality, you know. So they definitely didn't break down barriers. It looked like it surfacey cosmetic, as the great Danny Glover used to always say about Hollywood was nothing but cosmetics. Then we get to hip hop. And living vicariously black again, just like Pino's character, John Turturro's character, and Do the Right Thing, living through it. And people look at it and think like, oh, And you know why I bring this up on this particular day? Because I'm gonna use this is for the 4th of July type of thing. Because ain't it more patriotic to reminisce about how racist it still is and how segregated it still is and how people really haven't come together and they still play this merry-go-round? Well, music is supposed to be the deal breaker and colors, and we listen to music in harmony, but we don't think in harmony. How does that work? Most everybody's favorite musician is black and their favorite rapper entertainer, but it doesn't translate. So Tupac, Biggie, etc. NWA built in stereotypes, but people still loved it. The white kids wanted to be gangster. They wanted to live it vicariously. They wanted to do all those things. Ain't it something? Except they were playing right into a type that was the G's of the old school mafiosos against the FBI agents, etc. It's just a play on words that Hollywood just used. It's a plantation in blackface that was used with actual African Americans. Ain't that the twist in the plot? So did it help? No, because then you're promoting the N word and being derogatory and disrespectful. So the MTV era to hip hop did not help race relations. It actually has set it back. I'd say worse with hip hop. I would say worse. Motown brought some people together, and I think that that was important for what it was, because I think but I don't think the totality of MTV did not bring people together. Mm-mm. And hip hop didn't. I don't think neither one of them have. I think it's been another form of a slavery, another form of a plantation that's used musically that's been divisive. See, what MTV was all about crossover and trying to be big and appeal. That's an auction. Hip hop was just shuffling, shuffleboarding, and being happy to be on there and doing and making creating these delusions to sell. But the aesthetic of it, so all the cats would walk around reading the Source magazine, reading Vibe, reading all that, and the Five Mics and all that, but they don't be caring about you. That same thing happened with MTV. They don't care about you. It's all show and business. It's the same old thing. What did it really do? It didn't do anything. Because to move the needle, you got to have the needle in focus to move, and the groove never kicked in. So if people were cool, they were cool. However, it didn't change ways. And that note was a bum note. So no, As we get towards the fourth and whatnot, I'm keeping it 100. MTV nor hip hop changed race relations in America at all. If anything, it's gotten worse. And the music is still segregated because when the modern day, what they want for artistry, they put more money to push an Eminem, and they push more money to push different artistry that they want. They wanted, non-black artists to blow up doing R&B. That's what they push. And when you see it, it's real. It is real. They push Sam Smith, they push Adele. That's a fact. Don't sit around and say people don't have talent, but let's not act like they the most soulfulest white acts I've ever heard. And let's not act like there ain't agenda. So it hasn't done anything. It's just kept the plantation alive. I didn't find anything that MTV did that hip hop did. I stick to listen to the music. I don't listen to what they push and promote because it's not healthy. Mm-mm. The energy ain't good. And it's been pushing a very negative connotation. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Time. Peace.